Welcome to another episode of Cyber Secrets. In this episode, we're going to talk about memory analysis for free. Two programs we're going to use are the Volatility framework, which will allow us to carve the memory, and Dump It, which is going to allow us to do a memory dump. So the first thing we're going to do is go into the command line as admin and then run moonsol's dump it. Dump it will grab a bitstream copy of the memory. This means an identical clone of what's running in memory and part of the page file. This takes a lot of space and it takes a lot of time. The reason this is important is because we can actually carve out processes that were running at the time and even carve out files like images. Now that it's done, we're going to run Volatility. The -F is for file, with the file name that was just created, and then image info grabs the operating system information related to that image. This is required and important, so Volatility knows how to carve out the data. Each operating system is going to have a different signature. So you can see in this specific signature, it's going to be a Win7 SP1 64-bit OS. Now we're going to do a KDBG scan. This is going to try to find the offset that we can use so we can use that to carve more data. This is another area where it is going to take a little bit of time. Fast forward, now that it's done, we're going to scroll up a little bit and find the offset. The offset that we need is the 0x F8000383E0A0. But because, again, hate typing, I'm just going to highlight it, mark it, so we can paste it in a future section. Now, we're going to run Volatility again. We're going to do the KDBG with the memory offset and the -P list. As you can see on the screen, these are the processes that were running at the time we actually did the memory dump. And at the very bottom, you can even see dumpit.exe is running in the background. Now again, because I'm lazy, I do like reports, I'm going to run this directly to a text file so we can view it later. Now we're going to open up this text file in Notepad and just scroll down, and you can see it's in a lot prettier format than it was in the command line. And this is something that we can use in a future report. As you can see, timestamps, processes that were running, the actual memory addresses that the process was running in, and so forth. Now we're going to run a program or filter called NetScan. This is going to show the actual network addresses that were connected during the time of the memory dump. So you see ports that were connected, or if it's 0000, that's a listening port. But as you can see, Chrome was connected to several addresses. Camtasia and a few others connected some other addresses. So we're going to save the results in another text file. So again, we can run it in a report later. And it's always good to verify everything. So again, Notepad, and now we're going to verify this text that we just created. And again, it is in a prettier format. You can see what state it's running as, and the actual owner of the process that was currently running as well, which makes it really nice. The power behind the Volatility is it's not just focused on DD images of memory. You can also use vmem files from VMware. So at this point, we're going to open up a Windows 2008 server.vmem and go through the same process. As you can see, we're now looking at Win 2008 Service Pack 1 SP1 x86. We're going to go and highlight that. Can go and run volatility again. File, it's going to be the VMEM file that we were just pointing at. And now we're going to do profile scan. And then use that Win 2008 SP1 x86. And then the KDBG scan. Once this is done, we just found the offset. Again, as before, you might as well just go ahead and copy and paste the offset. Because again, being lazy, do not want to fat finger this. So scroll up to the very top, mark, highlight. And the reason why this memory address is shorter is because it's a 32-bit operating system, not a 64-bit. So now we're going to paste this in for the KDBG equals, and paste that memory address in. And now we're going to look at plist, which are the running processes at the time we were able to grab that VMEM file. And the cool part about the VMEMs, this is a true forensic snapshot because as the memory is being written to, it is being currently dumped to that specific system. If you're doing dump it, it actually alters the memory. So just keep that in mind. So now we're looking at the processes, just like we were before. And now we're going to do one more scan. Good old file scan. Sometimes if you are lucky, you can dump out some of the files that were running in the system and they'll be fully functional. Graphics, executables, DLLs, you name it. As always, it's a good idea to put the content into a report. This way, again, you can copy and paste it into a secondary report, or you can use it for verification purposes. Once it's done, again, it's always a good idea to verify. We're going to open up the file that we just created and look at it in more of a humanly readable format. As you can see, these are all the files that were open on the system when we dumped the memory or grabbed that VMEM file. Now notice you see the master file table, the $log file, and pagefile.sys. These were processes that were running or files that were open when the dump happened. Now another good feature that I like about Volatility, we'll go and create a folder called recovery, and then it'll allow you to actually dump the processes. So we'll do proc dump. Once we dump it into that folder, we're going to go and validate it. As you see, a bunch of processes are just carved out. I'm going to scroll down, and one of interest, we see this FileZilla. Full executable. We're good to go. If you'd like to learn more about advanced information security, InfoSec Institute is a great resource at infosecinstitute.com.